Hey everybody, and welcome back to Talk Tickers. We're going to be diving into Tilray Brands' Q2 2025 earnings call.
They have a lot going on.
Yeah, they do.
From craft brews to cannabis to global expansion, so it's a lot to cover.
We've got our work cut out for us.
But this deep dive is all about, giving you a clear picture of where they stand and their plans going forward.
So first, the headline. Tilray hit a record $211 million in net revenue this quarter.
Wow.
A 9% jump year over year. Their highest Q2 revenue ever.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
But what's really interesting is how they're achieving this growth.
Right.
They're laser focused on profitability, implementing what they call Project 420.
Project 420 to streamline their operations.
I love it.
Imagine merging beer and spirits teams, cutting over 300 slow-moving product varieties, and already racking up $17 million in cost savings. That's Project 420 in action. So they're getting
lean.
Lean and mean.
And it's showing in the bottom line. Yeah, it's showing in their bottom line. Their gross profit is up a hefty 29% this quarter, with a 500 basis point increase in gross margin. They're making more money on each sale, which is always a good sign.
Exactly.
Now let's break down their performance by segment, starting with beverages.
Okay.
Tilray Beverages is a major revenue generator,
Huge.
accounting for a third of their global revenue. They're a top craft beer supplier in key U.S. regions, with brands like Sweetwater Montauk Blue Point and Shock Top under their belt.
A lot of brands.
Yeah.
What stands out to me is their focus on regional strength and scalability.
Yes.
They're not trying to be everything to everyone.
Right.
They're building dominant positions in specific markets.
Yeah.
It seems to be working.
It seems to be working.
Yeah.
And they're not just stopping at beer. They've also got a hemp-derived Delta-9 THC brand making waves in the non-alcoholic beverage market.
Interesting.
It's already available online and in several states, cleverly leveraging their existing craft beer distribution network.
That's smart.
It's a really interesting play on the growing, sober, curious movement.
Yeah.
Plus, they're tapping into the somewhat murky regulatory landscape around hemp-derived products, showing they're adaptable and thinking ahead. Next up, cannabis.
Oak.
Tilray remains the revenue leader in the Canadian cannabis market, and they're making strategic moves to hold on to that top spot. They've doubled down on high-margin products like flower, where they just regained the #1 position, and THC beverages, where they have a commanding 45% market share.
Wow.
This signals a shift in their approach, prioritizing profitability over chasing every bit of market share. It's a mature and disciplined strategy, and it puts them in a strong position to capitalize on potential U.S. medical cannabis legalization down the line.
Makes sense.
Speaking of international expansion, their European business is booming, with 25% year-over-year growth in Q2.
Nice.
Germany is a particularly strong market for them, fueled by recent regulatory changes that have opened the doors to medical cannabis. But they're not limiting themselves to Germany. They're also expanding to Poland, the UK, Italy, and even Australia.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to see how they're leveraging their global supply chain, medical cannabis expertise, and established brands to make inroads into these markets. They're playing the long game, building trust and brand recognition, clearly anticipating continued global cannabis reform.
Yeah. Smart.
Now let's move on to their wellness segment.
Okay.
Tilray Wellness saw a 13% revenue jump year over year, driven by strong sales of their core products and innovative additions like those hemp-derived Delta-9 offerings. They're even eyeing expansion into the protein-rich wellness food market, a savvy move, considering the growing focus on health and sustainability.
Right.
Tilray's ambition goes beyond just being a cannabis company. They're building a diversified portfolio of brands that cater to changing lifestyles and consumer demands.
Definitely a company to watch.
Definitely a company to keep an eye on. Now, for our This Is Not Financial Advice segment,
Ooh, I like this part.
let's consider a speculative trade idea based on Tilray's strategic bets and their focus on high-growth categories.
Okay.
They're already a major player in craft beer.
Yeah.
What if they acquired a major energy drink brand?
Interesting.
Imagine a world where they could leverage their distribution network to sell cannabis-infused energy drinks once regulations allow.
That's
It would be a game changer.
bold.
It's a bold prediction for sure, but it wouldn't be the first time a beverage giant has dipped its toes into the cannabis space. This could be a move worth watching.
I'll be watching.
Okay, so let's recap what we've learned so far. Tilray is a company on the move with a clear focus on profitability, innovation, and strategic expansion in high-growth markets. But what does this all mean for you?
That's the question.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out understanding Tilray's story is key.
Absolutely.
Keep an eye on their future earnings calls and regulatory developments, particularly those around hemp-derived products and potential U.S. cannabis legalization. This is a company that's not afraid to disrupt the status quo and push boundaries, and they just might become the next consumer goods powerhouse.
They could be.
Tilray's commitment to profitability is clear. They're not just chasing market share, but making strategic decisions to ensure sustainable growth.
Yeah.
That's evident in their deliberate shift away from lower-margin products in the Canadian cannabis market. It would have been easy to focus on maintaining their overall market share,
Right.
but they chose to prioritize higher-margin products like flower and THC beverages. It's a sign of maturity and discipline, recognizing that long-term success requires a focus on profitability.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's paying off. They've regained the #1 spot in flower and boast a 45% market share in THC beverages.
Those are
some impressive figures.
Yeah, they are.
It also demonstrates their willingness to adapt to the evolving market dynamics. The Canadian cannabis market is becoming increasingly competitive with pricing pressures squeezing margins. Tilray's strategic shift allows them to maintain profitability while still holding a strong position in key product categories.
For sure.
What's particularly interesting is their approach to international expansion,
Okay.
specifically in Europe. Their European business is thriving with a 25% year-over-year surge in Q2.
Wow, that's great.
Germany is a standout market for them, thanks to recent regulatory changes that have opened up opportunities for medical cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not limiting themselves to Germany. They're also expanding into Poland, the UK, Italy, and even Australia.
Wow.
It's a calculated and ambitious strategy leveraging their existing strengths to capitalize on the growing global acceptance of medical cannabis.
Yeah, they're really thinking ahead.
It's fascinating to see how they're utilizing their global supply chain, medical cannabis expertise, and established brands to penetrate these new markets. They're not just jumping on the bandwagon, they're strategically positioning themselves for long-term success as global cannabis reform continues.
Smart.
And we can't forget about their wellness segment,
Right.
which is also experiencing robust growth.
Yeah,
Their hemp-derived Delta-9 products are generating a lot of buzz,
they are.
and they're wisely exploring expansion into other wellness categories, like protein-rich foods and functional beverages.
It seems like they're
It seems like they have their fingers on the pulse of emerging consumer trends,
right.
particularly the growing demand for natural and healthy alternatives.
Absolutely.
Their forward-thinking approach in this segment aligns with their overall strategy of diversifying their portfolio and catering to evolving lifestyles. It's clear that Tilray is not content with simply being a cannabis company. They're aiming to become a major player in the broader consumer goods market, and their recent performance suggests they're well on their way.
I think so too.
Tilray is firing on all cylinders, no doubt about it. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the people behind the numbers.
Okay.
The leadership team that's steering this ship
Right.
through the often turbulent waters of the beverage and cannabis industries. At the helm is Irwin Simon, Tilray's chairman and CEO. He's a seasoned executive with a proven track record of building and scaling successful consumer goods companies.
So he knows what he's doing.
It's safe to say he's the driving force behind Tilray's aggressive growth strategy and their ambition to become a global leader in both the beverage and cannabis markets. What's fascinating about Simon is his leadership style.
Uh-huh.
It's characterized by a bold vision, a relentless pursuit of growth, and an unwavering focus on operational excellence.
So he's got it all.
He's not just a visionary, he's a builder, and he's assembled a talented team of executives with deep experience in their respective fields. Together, they've created a culture of innovation and collaboration that's clearly contributing to Tilray's success.
Yeah, for sure.
It's impressive how they've transformed Tilray from a primarily Canadian cannabis company into a global beverage cannabis powerhouse. They've built a diverse portfolio of brands, established a robust global infrastructure, and crafted a clear strategy for long-term growth, all under Simon's leadership.
Impressive.
Now let's dive into their long-term strategy.
Okay.
They've laid out a clear roadmap for achieving their ambitious goals, and it's built on 5 key pillars.
5, okay?
Global expansion innovation, strong brands, operational excellence, and navigating the regulatory landscape. These are the guiding principles driving their decisions.
Makes sense.
Their global expansion strategy is laser-focused on targeting markets with favorable regulatory environments and a growing demand for their products. They're making strategic investments in production facilities, distribution networks, and branding to establish a strong presence in key markets around the world.
Because they're not just
They're not just shipping products overseas. They're building local operations, forming partnerships, and tailoring their offerings to specific regional preferences.
Smart.
A smart approach to international expansion. Their innovation strategy is equally impressive.
Okay.
They're committed to developing new products, exploring new categories, and leveraging their expertise in cannabis cultivation, extraction, and product development to create unique and differentiated offerings.
So they're not just following the trends.
They're not just keeping up with the times, they're investing in research and development, collaborating with leading universities and research institutions,
Wow.
and fostering a culture of experimentation within their organization,
Right.
all with the goal of staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
It's exciting to see a company that's not afraid to take risks, push boundaries, and explore the uncharted territories of the beverage and cannabis industries. They're constantly looking for the next big thing, and their track record suggests they might just find it.
I think so too.
Now, their brand building strategy is all about creating strong, recognizable brands that resonate with consumers
Right.
and command premium pricing. They're investing in marketing and branding initiatives that highlight the quality, innovation, and unique attributes of their brands, building emotional connections with consumers and fostering brand loyalty.
So they're really going for that.
They're not just selling products, they're selling experiences, lifestyles, and a sense of community.
I like that.
A strategy that's proven successful for many consumer goods giants. They understand that in today's crowded market, building a strong brand is essential for standing out from the competition and capturing the hearts and minds of consumers.
For sure.
Their operational excellence strategy is the backbone of their success. They're constantly striving to streamline their operations, reduce costs, improve efficiency, and maximize profitability, all without compromising on quality or customer service.
So it's a balancing act.
It is a balancing act. They're implementing lean manufacturing principles, leveraging technology solutions, and optimizing their supply chain to create a more agile and efficient organization. A classic approach to achieving sustainable growth and profitability.
Absolutely.
And finally, their regulatory strategy is focused on navigating the complex and ever-changing regulatory landscape surrounding cannabis, both in the U.S. and internationally.
Right.
They're closely monitoring regulatory developments, engaging with policymakers, and advocating for sensible cannabis regulations that promote safety, access, and innovation. A proactive approach to shaping the industry's future.
Yeah, they're not just waiting around.
They understand that the regulatory environment can make or break a cannabis company, and they're not just sitting back and waiting for things to change. They're actively working to create a more favorable environment for their business and the industry as a whole.
Yeah, good for them.
Now let's look at Tilray's outlook for the remainder of fiscal year 2025.
Duh.
They're projecting net revenues to be between $950 million and $1 billion,
Wow.
a sign of continued strong growth. They're also expecting to achieve further margin expansion as they continue to implement their cost-saving initiatives, optimize their operations, and focus on higher margin products.
So they're expecting good things.
A promising sign for investors looking for a profitable and growing company. They seem confident in their ability to achieve their financial targets and deliver value to their shareholders.
They should be.
They're also excited about the long-term growth opportunities ahead, particularly in the U.S. cannabis market, if federal legalization occurs.
Right, that would be huge.
A potential game changer for the entire industry. They believe they're well-positioned to capitalize on this massive market opportunity, leveraging their existing brand's expertise and infrastructure to become a leading player in the U.S. cannabis industry, an ambitious but potentially achievable goal.
Yeah, I could see it happening.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Tilray's Q2 2025 earnings, let's recap some of the key insights we've gleaned. Tilray is a dynamic and rapidly growing company operating at the forefront of the global beverage and cannabis industries.
Yeah, they are.
They've demonstrated impressive revenue growth, expanding margins, a commitment to innovation, and a strategic approach to acquisitions. All signs of a well-managed and forward-thinking company.
Absolutely.
They have a clear vision for the future, a strong leadership team, and a solid foundation for continued success. A compelling story for any investor. They're also benefiting from several tailwinds, including the ongoing legalization of cannabis, the growing demand for craft beer and spirits, and the increasing consumer interest in health and wellness products. Trends that are likely to continue driving their growth in the coming years.
Yeah, for sure.
However, it's important to acknowledge the challenges they face,
Right.
including the uncertain regulatory landscape surrounding cannabis, the intense competition in the cannabis industry, and the potential for economic headwinds to impact consumer spending.
It's not all smooth sailing.
No, It's not all smooth sailing factors that could impact their performance. Investors should carefully weigh these risks and opportunities before making any investment decisions.
Yeah, good advice.
As always, do your own research and make informed choices. That's it for today's episode of Talk Tickers. We hope you found our deep dive into Tilray's Q2 2025 earnings insightful and informative.
I did.
As always, this is not financial advice, so please do your own research and consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Until next time, stay informed and stay invested.